die-hard Alabama fan.
No kidding.
I went to a UCLA-Alabama basketball game last night. I considered bringing an I Hate Alabama sign. I didn't do it. Don't worry. Stop screaming. But I did watch UCLA win that game, but I do expect in the Sugar Bowl to see Alabama win this game very, very, very confidently. Alabama is going to win this game and overpower a team that should not even be a BCS team. Oklahoma.
Really?
Oklahoma does not deserve to be in the BCS.
Right, because of Oregon. I agree with that. Noah.
Okay, well, obviously I'm going to agree. I do think that... I don't think that Oklahoma deserves to be over Oregon, but saying that they don't deserve to be... I mean, in the end, they just had a little bit more weight, I guess, than Oregon did in the voters' mind. So if the voters think it, I guess they deserve it, but Oregon, I would have to say...
But it wasn't a voters thing. It was a money thing. They thought Oklahoma fans would travel better, and that's why they picked them.
I mean, if you're talking... But then you talk about TV ratings, and they're going to get worse TV ratings for that than if they had gotten Oregon.
Not really.
Technically, they said that they were setting this up because next year the Sugar Bowl is going to be Big 12 versus SEC, and they want to lead into that this year. I think it's ridiculous, and Oregon deserves it. But beside the point,
I agree. I think they deserve it too. But no matter what the reason, Alabama's going to win. I don't have confidence in the Bulldozer or anybody on Oklahoma. It's just too much on Alabama. They always have two really good running backs, and next year there'll be two good running backs, of course, as well. Oklahoma struggled through too many games. Blowout. It won't be close. Oklahoma has no hope.
Before we continue, we have to have a fact check about Release the Bracken Kearns. He's 32.
It's very important to know that. 32 years old and 231 days. So happy birthday in
365 minus 231. You can do it.
It's okay. In 134 days, happy birthday, Bracken Kearns.
There we go. Release the Bracken and release the countdown. We're at day 134 of the Bracken Kearns birthday bash. Rookies Roundup is going to throw Bracken Kearns a birthday bash. It's official. Alabama, Oklahoma. Listen, I still think that Alabama is the best team in the nation. They don't deserve to be in the national championship. I think that they should have won that game against Auburn. They didn't. But there you go. I think that Auburn's still the most talented. Okay, scratch that. Alabama's the most talented team. And they'll have the most players that are successful in the pros. They should have no problem against Oklahoma. Blowout. Don't even bother watching. Ohio State hosts Clemson. Now, this could be interesting. Taj Boyd had an unexpectedly quiet year. I'm going to start this one. I think the Buckeyes are winning this game. I think Ohio State's probably very bitter after missing out on the championship game. They want revenge, and they want to end the season on a positive note. Carlos Hyde is still Carlos Hyde. Braxton Miller is still Braxton Miller. They'll be able to stop Taj Boyd. I think Clemson has a problem in that they fail to show up for the really big games, and the Buckeyes are going to pull this one out. Noah.
Well, I am a Buckeyes fan, and not because of that, but they will pull this out as well. I don't expect Urban Meyer to go home. I mean, he ate away his sadness with Pizza Hut, but now
Papa John's.
All of it is coming back up. All of the Pizza Hut is coming back up with a vengeance, and he's going to take out the anger of having all that Pizza Hut out on Clemson. Carlos Hyde is a monster. And, this goes to prove, just for everybody who follows recruiting, that just because you're not a top recruit doesn't mean you can't be insanely good at running. He was not in the ESPN 300. He was not considered that good. But now he's going to go to the NFL. He'll be going third or fourth round. And you know what? He does have potential. He's a big guy. And, he's gotten some of the criticism that Eddie Lacy got, too, that he's not fast enough to the line. He has the potential to be an Eddie Lacy-like running back. You know what? I think he's going to have a good going-away party, and Braxton Miller, of course, you cannot avoid him. Unfortunately, Noah Spence, one of their best linebackers, may not be in that bowl game, which will make it difficult. He had some personal issues to attend to, but still, Ohio State are the favorites.
Yeah, there seems to be room for a power back in the NFL. It's becoming more and more popular, maybe the Brandon Jacobs style back, if you will, or Joseph Adai. Carl.
On the game or on the backs?
On the game. Or the back. Whatever you want.
I'm going to talk about this game. I'm going to say this is... Beside the national championship game, I think this one may be the most... Well, I think this will be a very close game. That being said, I think Ohio State has a very good ability to close games. I think they have a very good... You look at how they... Before that Michigan State game, 24 straight wins. This was a team that seemed to be winning game after game after game, and a lot of them not in blowout fashion, but in close fashion. They showed that they have the ability to close out games against good teams. I think they will beat the Clemson Tigers, and I'm pretty confident about it.
Alright then. And we move on to the final BCS game, the BCS National Championship game. This is it. It's the supercomputer's last run, and it culminates, how appropriately, in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Auburn, Florida State. One seemed to be the team of destiny, the other went undefeated and handled every test they faced. Florida State. Auburn, it comes down to this. Carl.
I'm sitting on a couch today across from Jake watching football. And I'm just sitting there like, Auburn is the team of destiny. It's official. With an immaculate deflection and and of course, obviously the kick return, I'm pretty sure this is the team that God wanted to see in the championship game. That is my official conclusion with Auburn. But, and then you've got Florida State. Jameis Winston, I believe, better than Johnny Manziel was last year. He's so mature for his age. Winston has shown presence in the pocket, but when he needs to, he can scramble. He is a great quarterback, and this defense is also very impressive. My one issue is this is a thing that brought up almost every year is in a BCS game is this team does not seem very tested. They've won all their games by a lot of points, but that doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't mean anything to me, and I'm still picking Florida State to win this game.
Thank you. Listen, I learned a lesson when I picked Ohio State to win it all, and they did not. And it is time I put that in action. Defense wins championships. And I still think that defensively, Florida State is going to overpower Auburn. I think that they have run out of miracles. I am going to be rooting for Auburn. I think many people are going to be rooting for Auburn. But I don't see Florida State losing this game. No.
Okay. I'm gonna be the one person. So let me get straight. Both of you pick Florida State.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pick Auburn. I'm gonna go with Auburn. And first off, I want to just say that Florida State has never been in a close game. Or has not been in a close game this year. They have blown everybody out. Clearly, I mean hasn't been close. 45-7 against Duke, 37-7, 80-14, 59-3. No team has challenged them. Boston College 48-34 is probably the closest that anybody got. And, I don't know. I want to see how they handle it first of all, and I expect Jameis Winston to handle it terrifically. But this is going to be a different situation. They haven't gone up against a team that's of the level of Auburn. Auburn knows how to win games that are close, even if it's off of a miracle. But to even put themselves in a situation to come out of it with a miracle is phenomenal. I think that Auburn has what it takes to win a close game, and I don't know if Florida State does. And it's up to Jameis Winston to prove me wrong. But I like Auburn, and it only seems fitting that at the end of the BCS era, in the best rivalry in college football, in my opinion, the Iron Bowl, Auburn-Alabama, that the last five will go out with Auburn or Alabama winning the title. And I am sorry to Stanford, Oregon, or Ohio State, Michigan. And I'm an Ohio State fan, which is it's hard for me to say that, but it is the best rivalry. No other one has had a Tumor's Corner tree poison.
I don't think any other rivalry has had a single tree, whether or not it is on a corner or in the middle of a street, poisoned.
Did you watch the 30 for 30? I know that was on ESPN.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go. I didn't watch it. My 30 for 30 expert sitting right beside me told me it wasn't worth it.
I
like
just said I.
No, you said that there were better.
There are better 30 for 30s, especially
There are. Oh, definitely.
The Youngstown boys one about Ohio State and where
Oh
they
no!
spread.
Don't tell me. I have that recorded. I can't find out what happens in that.
That
one.
was a great one, also.
It was a good.
Yeah, there are a lot of good ones. Also, I watched the Book of Manning today. That was actually okay.
It was actually okay.
Yeah, but the problem is I think it revolved too much around Archie Manning and revolved too much around his relationship with the kids rather than their actual football. Though I do think it was good, but I think it revolved a little bit too much around it. But it was a good one. I liked it.
I would like to have someone to produce a documentary called The Cooper Diaries. Everything through Cooper's point of view. Can we have that? Can we get someone on that?
Have you heard Cooper's story?
Yes, I have heard his story. He was a wide receiver. He was a standout wide receiver at Ole Miss. An injury cut his career short.
Do you know what injury it was?
Was it a leg injury? I think.
It was a spinal injury that was making him feel numbness, and he couldn't play ever again because of it. It was very dangerous to his career. It wasn't like that kind of injury. It's just an injury that he had no idea about. It was a condition, not an injury. It was more, It's just a sad thing for him. And imagine having all three of them. If Cooper had stayed there, Peyton Manning in the movie said he would have gone to Ole Miss. So just imagine how that could have altered the destiny of so many of these players. Cooper could have been a terrific NFL wide receiver. Peyton could have gone to Ole Miss. That would have been big.
That would have been huge. I mean, it would have been pretty big. But speaking of danger, how about Jadeveon Clowney speeding again? What's up with the guys speeding? Yasiel Puig as well. Clowney, however, this is the second time he's done this. He was clocked doing 84 miles an hour in the 55 miles an hour zone. Slow down, Clowney. According to ESPN, so there was a dashboard camera video. It was released Friday by Columbia Police a day after Clowney was stopped on I-26, about 6 miles from Williams-Brice Stadium. The Gamecocks were gathering to travel to Florida for the Capital One Bowl. He said he was going to be late. It was his second take in 3 weeks. On December 7th, he was going 110 in a 70 miles an hour zone. And then, what ends up happening is, he takes a picture with the cops and puts it on Twitter, writing, quote, "We in here, me and my boys, LOL." I'm not... Where do I begin?
I think you begin with... It's very expected that Clowney will leave school, obviously. My question for Clowney now, whether or not... And I guess for the teams that are looking to draft him, is his maturity there to play in the National Football League, and also some discipline. And I think he's a great talent, but now that's the question for teams looking to draft him. Maturity and discipline, is it there? And I think he's gonna be one of those players where interviews are gonna be so key.
Yeah. You know, you look, first of all, you have the cops issue. Why are the cops taking a picture with you? I don't care if you love him as a college football player. He has sped twice. Then you're going to align yourself with him and let that picture go online. And
although I should say this is speeding compared to the players we see smoking pot and getting drunk. So there is something to say about that.
Yes, but I mean, they posed with him. It's not like they didn't know. I don't know. That doesn't really bother me as much as the fact that he has sped twice in the last month, and then the extra detail that he was late for his team that was going to a bowl game. You want to talk about heart, about caring? Listen, maybe there were circumstances I don't know about, and it's unfair of me to judge him, but I'm going to assume that there was nothing really serious that could have stopped him from needing to go 84 miles an hour in a 55 zone to catch the flight to go to a bowl game. I'm wondering about his priorities and his dedication. Noah?
Yeah, I agree 100%. You look at this, it's just... I don't know, honestly, I don't know what to say to Jadeveon Clowney. For a guy that is so talented, and I understand there's a lot of pressure put on him, and I think that all the talk about, the once-in-a-generation was too much, because I don't think he'll ever live up to that. I don't think he is a once-in-a-generation. I think he's a fantastic football player. that has the potential to be a Pro Bowler. But when you have that pressure